Hello, fellow deplorables. Welcome to Straight Out of the Basket. The title of this episode has two different meanings. California is obviously burning in the literal sense, with annual wildfires ravaging parts of the state, and burning in the metaphoric sense, as politicians unwittingly burn California to the ground, leaving it completely unrecognizable from the great place it once was. For years, California Democrats have continued to bend a knee to far-left influences, environmental extremists, and various fringe groups, facilitating their own social and economic decline. Amazing as it is, many California voters have not only helped to build the metaphoric bonfire, they've also voluntarily jumped into the flames. Despite the undeniable consequences of a Democratic supermajority for more than a decade, liberal zealots in California continue to double down in their support of the very people running their state into the ground. They've had years to wake up and change course, yet they keep going down the same dark road with a strange, almost suicidal disinterest. The leaders they elect in California run the entire spectrum of dangerousness, from complete idiots to power-hungry psychopaths. On the federal level, you have the likes of Maxine Waters on one end and Nancy Pelosi on the other, with jackasses like Adam Schiff and Eric Swalwell sitting squarely in the middle, simultaneously occupying both ends of the spectrum. What they all have in common is their contributions to the public perception that our federal government is run by a bunch of dishonest, incompetent crooks. On the local and state level, California voters have a tendency to elect the same kind of nutjobs, like Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass. Hell, those two humanoids would scare the bejesus out of Rod Serling. They're straight out of a Twilight Zone episode. Too bad Californians can't send them to cartoon land, where they belong. Is it any wonder California is woefully unprepared for a crisis like the wildfires in LA, when much of the state is overseen by nitwits like them, more concerned with virtue signaling than actual governing? Why would anyone be surprised that a one-party state like California has problems with unemployment, crime, drugs, homelessness, and yearly budgetary deficits? Those things were inevitable. California's current government debts total around $1.6 trillion, eclipsing all other states in the country. You heard me right, $1.6 trillion, which can only be attributed to overspending and mismanagement by state leaders.
You goofed up, kid.
At the current spending rate, California is essentially digging its own grave. A balanced budget would be as foreign to them as a good idea. The big challenge facing California is, can its voters wise up and avoid falling off the fiscal cliff? Can they bring an end to the long trend of voting for spend-happy Democrats and reverse their voting habits in favor of more fiscally responsible leaders before folks like Gavin Newsom drive them so far into the abyss there's no turning back? I have very little faith they will. Am I politicizing the tragedy, you ask? You're damn right I am, because it's bad politics that got them here. My guess is that the California liberals will choose to go down with the ship, while the smart ones will join the exodus already taking place, further exacerbating the state's economic downturn. My heart goes out to the residents that can see the writing on the wall, but lack the financial means to get the fuck out of there. They'll have no choice but to suffer the consequences that years of foolish policies have created, watching helplessly as California burns to ashes right in front of their eyes.